The Krofft catalog of classic TV shows is officially available for free on the streaming channel Cineverse. So let's talk about how we got here, how to watch it, what's on it, and what's not. Us Krofft fans have been waiting for this moment for quite a while, but more specifically since June 1st of last year when Variety came out with an article stating that Cineverse would become the streaming home for all things Krofft. While we were not given a launch date in this article, it certainly got the excitement going, and it did not take long for a somewhat official confirmation to come when various statements were made in the comment section on posts by the official Sid and Marty Krofft Facebook account, and later direct quotes from Marty Krofft and his team at panels such as DragonCon stating that the channel would debut in early 2024. This was double confirmed a little later on October 20th of 2023 when a blog by Mark Evenair was shared to the r/Land of the Lost subreddit, which you should all join. In this blog post, Mark, who worked with the Kroffts back in the 70s, states, "This past week I spent some wonderful hours with my past, and it looks like future, employer, Marty Krofft, discussing upcoming projects, one in which I'm only peripherally involved in the forthcoming Sid and Marty Krofft channel, which will soon be streaming vintage episodes of HR Puffnstuff, Lidsville, Land of the Lost, Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, The Bugaloos, The Krofft Super Show, The Krofft Superstar Hour, Far Out Space Nuts, and other Krofft classics. The channel, which debuts in early 2024, will even air a few short things I did for the Sid and Marty in the 70s that have never aired before. This was extremely exciting when it was dropped into r/Land of the Lost, shout out Space Nut 1976, because not only did it double confirm the launch date as early 2024, it also doubled down on the list of shows that we were given by the Variety article. And early 2024 it was, as we can see by the fact that we have the channel now. Full disclosure, I am unaware of what the actual launch date was, as I was a few days late on hearing the news. But I know for sure it was up and running by January 30th, because that is the oldest post I can find. As I write this script on the 5th of February 2024, the first official post acknowledging the release of the Krofft shows on Cineverse has just been made on the official Sid and Marty Krofft Facebook and Instagram accounts. So before we get into depth about what shows are on there, let's talk about how to watch. There are three options, which make it easy for on-the-go Krofft watching or at-home viewing. You can either go to the Cineverse website on your computer, download the channel on your various streaming devices such as Roku, Fire TV, and all the others, or download the Cineverse app that is available on Google Play and the App Store. Once you are on the channel, you'll find that it is free with ads, with the option to pay $4.99 a month to remove the ads. You may also notice the Sid and Marty Krofft section, which you can select to nicely display all of the Krofft shows in one spot. Now let's move on to what shows made it onto the channel. All of the full-length shows made it over as promised, those being Puffnstuff, Bugaloos, Lidsville, Sigmund, Far Out Space Nuts, Lost Saucer, and of course, Land of the Lost. Both of them. We were also promised the various Krofft variety shows, those being the Krofft Super Show and the Krofft Superstar Hour / the Bay City Roller Show. Now, we did indeed get both seasons of the Krofft Super Show on Cineverse, and with those, of course, come all of the shows that were included in it, being Dr. Shrinker, Electro Woman and Dyna Girl, and Wonderbug for Season 1, and Bigfoot and Wild Boy and Magic Mongo for Season 2. As I said, all of these can be watched on Cineverse, but strangely, only Dr. Shrinker and Electro Woman and Dyna Girl got the uncut treatment, as the Variety article puts it, where they are removed from the individual Krofft Superstar episodes to be watched independently. What this means is, when looking on the Cineverse channel, you will not see Wonderbug, Bigfoot and Wild Boy, or Magic Mongo as their own individual show tabs, like all of the other shows we have discussed. But fear not, because you can still view them and enjoy them in the Krofft Super Show full episodes. I find it odd that only half of these shows got the individual show treatment. Hashtag justice for Wonderbug. But anyway, all jokes aside. Now we get into the real treat, what I was most looking forward to, and what did not make it onto the channel. All three of those being the same thing, the Krofft Superstar Hour. Now, for those of you that don't know, here is a brief history lesson. The Krofft Superstar Hour was the spiritual successor to the Krofft Super Show. The host band, Captain Cool and the Kongs, were replaced with the Bay City Rollers, and two new shows were featured instead of the previously discussed ones. They were called Horror Hotel and Lost Island. Both of these shows served as a sort of greatest hits mashup for the Krofft universe. Horror Hotel featured Witchy Poo from Puff and Stuff and Hoodoo from Lidsville, this time portrayed by Paul Gale instead of Charles Nelson Riley, living in and running a haunted hotel with various mischievous happenings from episode to episode. But most intriguingly, The Lost Island featured Sigmund, Puff and Stuff himself, Weenie the Genie from Lidsville, Dr. Shrinker, now named Dr. Deathray, and Enoch and the Sleestack. That's right, The Lost Island, during the Krofft Superstar Hour, featured the original Enoch suit, 2 out of 3 of the original Sleestack suits, and utilized multiple background and stop motion scenes taken directly from Land of the Lost. Being in the top 1 percentile of Land of the Lost fans, this of course piqued my interest, considering this is the last on-screen appearance of the Enoch suit, and the last on-screen appearance of any Sleestack suits in a Krofft production. Shout out the A-Team. If this is your first time learning about all of this, you can watch Season 1, Episode 1 of the Krofft Superstar Hour in its entirety on my channel, or just the 13 minutes of The Lost Island from the first episode. Sadly, at this time, the very first episode is the only one in public circulation. Theoretically, there are 7 more episodes of The Lost Island, as, according to Wikipedia, the Krofft Superstar Hour made the transition into The Bay City Roller Show after 8 episodes. This transition coincided with the cutting of the show from 1 hour to 30 minutes, getting rid of Lost Island, making Horror Hotel the only skit shown in the new Bay City Roller Show, and therefore Horror Hotel is the only one out of the 2 that is viewable on Cineverse, for now. While it does make me a little sad that The Lost Island is not available, on the whole, this is a massive win, as we were given everything else that we were promised except for Lost Island. And who knows, maybe it will be added in the future with updates, or the primetime shows, or DC Follies, or Pryor's Place. Maybe even Mark's mysterious short things he did back in the 70s will be added too. The future is bright and full of possibilities. The final thing we need to discuss is the picture quality. For those of you that don't know, we have been teased about high quality remastered edition of Krofft shows since even before the streaming service was announced. This is, of course, incredibly exciting, and I am happy to say that most of these shows look absolutely beautiful on Cineverse. The difference between the remastered editions on Cineverse and what was previously available from DVD releases is uncanny. The difference is really mind-blowing on the Bay City Roller Show, as I personally uploaded the highest quality episode 1 footage that existed previously onto my channel, since it was nowhere else to be found online, and it was in circulation of collectors anyway. But the new Cineverse version knocks it out of the park. I can see the individual feathers on Dr. Blinky. I never knew that this is what I needed in my life. Sadly, 70s Land of the Lost, which is what I'm most interested in, is a special case of being particularly difficult to remaster. For those of you that don't know, Land of the Lost was shot half on tape and half on film, making the combination difficult to work with, and I believe this is the reason why Land of the Lost is locked in at its bad resolution and is particularly hard to restore compared to the other shows that were shot entirely on film, whose master tapes are available. You can listen to Sid and Marty discuss the issue here. So, Land of the Lost looks pretty much identical on Cineverse compared to the previous DVD releases, with the small exception of the weird fact that the Cineverse version appears to be cropped so that the bottom and sides are cut off slightly. This was noticed by both me and one of my fellow Land of the Lost obsessed friends in our Discord server, which is open for anyone to join if you would like. Another odd thing we noticed is the episodes are very much out of order. Also, something I just noticed while editing is that Sigmund is listed as having 3 seasons instead of 2, but it's just season 2 split into 2. But back to the point. It cannot be overstated how amazing this channel is for Krofft fans, and how good all of these remastered editions looked. And for some of this content, there has never been any home media releases ever. And for others like 90s Land of the Lost, Far Out Space Nuts, and most of the rest, this is the first time the entire series has been made available for viewing. So not only is this the first time many of these can be viewed in their entirety in an official capacity, they also look better than ever. In conclusion, I highly recommend any and all Krofft fans download the channel, app, or visit the website. Never before has it been possible to view all of our favorite classics in one place, and never have they looked this good. This is truly a historic moment for Krofft fans, and none of it would have been possible without the hard restoration work of Rob Klein and everyone else at the company. So huge shout out to them. And of course, a huge shout out to the late great Marty Krofft, who sadly did not get to see the final product that they worked so hard to give to us fans. But I know he would be proud. So, let's all show our support by downloading the channel and rewatching all of our favorites. After all, it's free. But don't forget, if you really want to show your support and get some swag while you're at it, you can check out the official Krofft Bandwear merch page, where they're selling lots of goodies from t-shirts to pins to DVDs, sealed VHS tapes, vinyls, and other rarities straight from the Krofft vaults. The link to the Cineverse website, the Krofft shop, and everything else I talked about in this video will be in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and don't forget to leave a comment. The interaction is great for the channel, and I love talking to you guys. Happy streaming.
And my favorite, the ending, when I look all around. I can't believe the things I found. Now I need to find my way. I'm lost. Find me living in the land of the lost, living in the land of the lost.